Everyone can see and hear me, it says.
Yes,
Eh?
we can hear you.
Okay, I think I disappeared for a minute. Am I back?
Yes, you are. I can hear you anyway.
You can hear me. Good
Yes.
stuff. Are we on yet?
Yes, we are.
Hello, people. I can't believe that today's date. Do you remember the original day when this whole thing started?
Yeah, August 9th,
I was
2020.
in
I
the car
remember.
with my whole family behind me. On the first day, we did this. And
Yeah.
2 years later, I am still in the car with my family behind me. Nothing has changed. My goodness. My goodness. Well, those of you who are on live, you have to join me in singing. I have this song I sing specially for occasions. If you are not a Pentecostal, West African Pentecostal, you probably might not appreciate this particular version of the tune, but it's Happy Birthday. Oh no. Happy birthday to you. Happy... You have to sing it so nasally. Oh, I was in church on Sunday and they were singing the happy birthday song. It took everything in me not to break down and roll on the floor. It was so funny. So funny. So join me in singing happy birthday to Sika Educates. It's been 2 years of a sensational, life-changing journey. And congrats, Sika. You have stuck to the straight, narrow, and neat. And it is not the most comfortable ride. It is one which is full of doubt. It is full of questions. Sometimes you wonder if you should go the quicker route. Are there better things we could do to make things? And people have all sorts of theories. But let me just come to you, Aku, first. Let me start with you. What does it feel like to be 2 years old?
I feel like a grown up and a child at the same
You feel a grown up when you are 2 years old. That's
time.
funny. Explain. I know what you mean, but I don't think everybody in the audience will understand what you're trying to get across.
So what I mean by being a grown up is that I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. So when I first got here, you said to me, I don't want you to get involved in this. I don't think you should do that. No beef, no this, no that.
No
And
me.
I thought, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, no meat, only fish, seafood, finished. And I thought, that's easy. I don't even like a lot of meat anyway, so that's fine. I can do fish. Yes, let's get cracking. And then you start, and then you're like, but I'm teaching. I'm teaching. How is it that nobody is interested in teaching and gaining knowledge
Yeah.
and education? Why is it that it's only the beef, the chickens, and the turkeys that are making it? They're getting bigger.
Yeah.
And poor old fish is just being smoked and it's smaller and it's bony and it's like, oh my God, what am I doing?
Yes.
So that's what I mean
That is
by,
organic growth for you. I mean, Sika's page is one of the model pages now for those of you who want to do this and do this the right way. If you want to go down the straight and narrow, if you want to see what real organic growth is, then this is Sika's model for you. But also, let's look at the great side of things. Have you, since you became a monetized page, have you been demonetized yet?
oh yeah, I had that one time and
Okay.
I almost had a heart attack from that. I did.
Talk us through what happened. Talk us through.
So
We want to learn what
you
happened.
know, I got to the threshold and I'm monetized and I'm super excited and I'm working on bubbles and all of that. And then, when you're in that zone, you're not really paying attention. Okay, Amma says I shouldn't play music in background. Okay, I don't play music anyway, apart from my own jingle. I'm not like that anyway. And I don't think I've ever been to any function and done any live videos for that particular reason. It's not that I don't go for functions, but I'm always scared. It's like what you said about not playing music always rings in my mind. Don't do it. So as soon as I'm somewhere where there's music or noise, I'm like, I don't want to get into any trouble. So I don't. But I think Amma is frozen, but never mind. I hope you guys can hear me. And I think the real thing was um, not paying attention to the terms and conditions that are on there and not really understanding what some of the things that have been said actually mean. So I went on and posted stuff, or shall I say, got somebody else on the page that wasn't in an approved country to help me manage the page. And before I knew what was happening, my page had been demonetized. So, so I'll post things and nothing will be happening. And I didn't still even understand what was happening. And then finally I got it. Right? Amma has left. She has bad coverage. When she comes back, we'll get on here. But whilst waiting for her to do that, I just want to say that 2 years has been a journey. If you're not somebody who understands that there's a difference between patience and perseverance, that's one that I want to talk about today too, Amma. If
I
you don't
lost signal
understand,
for a while, but I came
yeah.
back at a good point because I that's exactly what I was hoping you would discuss. All right, let's go. You tell them the story.
If you don't know the difference between perseverance and patience, please don't open a page.
Explain, please explain. We don't understand.
So, before I started doing all of this, I thought I knew what patience meant. I don't have uh, children in my own house, but everybody I know has a child or children. My sisters have five of them between them, and the oldest one is about 10. The youngest one is now 4. When I see any of them, my life is done. My phone is taken. My phone is seized. They are in my hair. They're lying on top of me. They're asking me all the embarrassing questions that children shouldn't be asking adults, but they ask anyway. From how comes you have boobs to why is it big to whatever. And I thought because I hang around children, I have a lot of patience, right? Because you need a lot of that to relate to children. Okay, fast forward. I start this page and oh, come on. I have a lot of people who are friends of mine from primary school, from JSS, from secondary school and university. Come on, this can't be that hard. I know quite a bit of people, so that should work. If nobody else follows or engages, at least those people that I know from all these places would help. None of that happened. And after a while you would say, oh, I don't care about that. I would just keep pushing and persevering and see where it gets to. Believe you me, when you're doing something and you know how ambitious you are and you're not seeing the results, that hello sister Shyla, oh, I didn't even see Vivian, how are you, sweetheart? I hope you guys are doing good. And you think that you have the patience to persevere, to keep going when you're seeing nothing. Start this one of these things and be one of those people who wants to keep things on the straight and narrow and not delve into, territories that you shouldn't delve into. For me, it was all about education, getting people to be uplifted within our community is what the driver is. It's not um about waiting for there to be controversial issues and then delving into it, picking a side, fighting people. That's not me anyway. So I wouldn't be comfortable. I wouldn't know the next thing to do, and it will show. Education. Oh, yes, I can do that. But I've come to find that in our community, um, sadly, we are one of the people that needs education, knowledge, and upliftment. And yet we're also the same people that are allergic to those kinds of things. We don't anything about education. We're not really interested. Um, and so it's hard. It's a hard road to stick to when you're seeing other pages and what they do and how the growth is happening, and you're here and all you're trying to do is to make us a better people and nothing is happening. It's painful, it's hard, it's challenging, it's difficult. But if you know what you believe in, if you know what you want and you stick to the guns of what you think you believe in, it happens. You always find your tribe. And that is a lesson that I'm learning now. I'm still learning. I'm still a child. I've only been here 2 years. And yes, I say I'm a grown up and I feel like a child all rolled up into one. This is why I say that. It's not easy. It's not. If you want organic growth where you're pushing, you're trying to be a better person yourself, you're trying to put out top notch content all the time that is, relevant. It is, but we are progressing gradually. I know, Hammer. Shaila, I know. But when you're very ambitious, right? You want things to happen overnight. That is what I'm talking about. That if you want organic growth with a theme of education, educating people in our community, it's hard work. It's not that easy. It's hard. And sometimes you think that you've given top notch content here. This is a goer. This is one that should really get people's attention. And then you come back and there's 4 views, 10 views, 15 views. Like, I didn't start this to have 10 views. I didn't start doing this to have 15 views. What is happening? What am I doing that is not right? And it is in those moments that you really need everything inside of you engaged to keep fighting. Because I've seen a lot of people start well, and I'm sure they're also suffering that same fate that I was suffering, and decided to just throw in the towel at a point because nothing was happening. Nothing. It's hard when that is going on. I remember a time around July or August last year. And at this point, I'm in the late 3000s, and people started unfollowing the page. And I go to Amma and I'm like, "Sister Amma, I don't know what I'm doing, but I record a video and there are 5 views."
Oh my goodness. My network was misbehaving, but I know the story you are telling. I am so glad we are here telling this story. And I'm hoping that those of you who are new will listen to this story and one, realize the realistic journey. So you baseline that for yourself. It's important because if nobody's baselining for you, you will discourage yourself and you will give up. You will give up. You need somebody to baseline for you. And we are hoping that this conversation is a baseline for some of you. You need somebody to motivate you and let you know that it still is the best possible route. It is. You get into trouble sometimes because in life it's inevitable that you will get into trouble. But you see, when you grow this organic way, you end up not owing many people loyalties. You end up not actually owing too many favors. You are actually autonomous in the way you run your page and how you do your things. And that's where I wanted to ask you. I mean, now that it's taken you this 2 year journey of tears, of doubt, of worry, concerns, and we are here, does it also bring you some peace?
It does. It does. I look at the 2 year journey, and just as I was saying, Amma, I remember about a year ago this time, how I would go. Sometimes I'm at my boyfriend's place and I'm like, come on, tonight. I recorded a video and nobody is watching. And Amma is like, just keep going. Just forget about
Yeah.
the numbers. Just keep
Yeah.
going. Amma, but how can I keep going when I I record a video and I have 5 views? What is happening? I don't have time
Yeah.
for this. It's 5 views.
Yeah.
How can I? But she said, kept going, keep going. Now I did a video. To this day, when I look at that video, I've watched it a million times.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was wearing a gray jumper thing. I wasn't even in the mood. I was just like, oh God, it's today. I haven't done a video yet.
Yeah.
Let me just record a video. And then just when I
Yeah.
switched on the camera, I got a phone call which really pissed me off. So I forgot about the topic I wanted to talk about, and I was just venting. That's what I was doing, venting to me, venting. And I posted that video, Amma, till today. Still got people watching that video. I think it's at
Yeah.
400,000 views or something. And I'm like, but I was venting. I wasn't saying anything sensible in that video. Within 2 days, I went from 3,800 and something, and I woke up 2 days later, and the page is more than 8,000 followers. And I'm like, eh? What happened? So I called Amma. I'm like, Amma, I don't understand.
But you see, we have actually discussed a lot of these
Oh,
things
Amma Wanji in Ghana.
in the build up to it. I was telling you up to
Yeah,
3,000-4,000 is horrendous. Oh, why? Can
we
you
can hear
can?
you. Keep going. Yes, it's come back now.
Okay, right. What I was saying is, at that time, I told you that up to about 3,000-4,000 is horrendous.
Yeah. Amma Wanji is gone. She did say that though. She did.
If you are able to get yourself close to 5,000,
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, you've how do I say it? You've muted yourself, Amma. If you can hear me. When you went off camera, we could hear you, but you've muted yourself as well. Uh, okay. So guys, that's what I'm saying. So it went from nothing happening and all of a sudden everything is happening and I just couldn't believe myself. This is an encouragement to anybody who has a theme, has decided to embark on this journey, and is wondering after weeks and months of nothing. I've been there, done that, worn the t shirt, and counting. It's not easy. It takes digging deeper and finding everything inside of you to keep yourself going. Sister Sheila says, I say that to encourage you all, because it's not easy, but all your doings will surely pay off. And that is the point. When you're recording videos and you don't have the time, and things are happening, and you just want to be flying, because you look, come on, we're all human beings. Let's just be honest here. We are all human beings. We all see growth. We all see what happens on social media. And so when you're doing these things and nothing is happening, or things are not happening the way you want them to happen, it's hard.
that is the thing.
It's hard.
That's the thing. That's the thing. So you see, this story is supposed to be inspirational. It's supposed to be motivational. But actually, I also want Aku's journey to help a lot of you understand what is to come, especially if you want to do this the right way. I've got to say, there are two ways of doing social media. There is the straight and narrow, and there is the infamous route. There are advantages and disadvantages to both. But for me, if you weigh the cost of the infamous route, ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, to what you are able to do then it's a no-brainer. But again, it depends whether you are here to waste time or you are here for a purpose. Those of you who are just here to be popular and be broke whilst you are being popular, feel free. The infamous route is your best bet. Everybody will know your name, everybody will insult you, everybody will curse you, and then at the end you go home hungry. You are popular for nothing. If that's what you are after, well done. Just go with the infamous route. Find a prominent person, a respectable person, and just insult them. Make sure you insult them well, well. After one episode of insults, you will wake up the next day and you are famous. So if that's what you are after, oh, that's easy. That one, there is no formula to it. You just go and you get yourself an insult spree and you are good to go. But those of you, like the rest of us, who want to do this and use it for a specific purpose, this internet of mine is winding me up. You will have to forgive me, folks. I'm trying to find you a position that works. It's not been this bad in a long, long, long time. But there we go. If you are looking to do something purposeful with this social media thing, and if you are looking to make it change your life, if you are looking to see the self advocacy and for it to ultimately bring you opportunities, then walking this straight and narrow is the only way to go. That's what I want to ask Aku about. So I was asking about whether she finds peace and all these things, but I'm leading towards the sorry guys.
It's okay. I don't know whether Amma is still here or not, but I'll answer her question. So when I started this
Anytime I am
whole
on.
journey, yeah, when I started this whole journey, it was tough. Not just because of the numbers not being where it needed to be, but I also had internal wranglings with my nearest and dearest, right? I have a very private family, very private. When I say private, I mean private. Like they don't want no presence on social media. They don't want any of their business out there. They just want to be unassuming, normal, box standard people and just mind their business. And then they have a daughter like me who has decided to go public and educate. And it's like you can educate people in your house. Why are you trying to do this? What is all this? Why? Why are you doing this? What is this all about? So,
Okay.
not only did I have the not growing and having the five views, I also on the private level had internal wranglings with everybody I loved. From boyfriend to mom to dad to siblings. And then some people will come and copy extracts from my video, Sister Amma, and see my siblings in traffic and is she your sister? Hey, so you have this sister of yours, she has a big mouth too, and she'll be saying privates in our local language. She'll be saying it as if she's drinking water. No, can't a and then my siblings are like, so you are on social media, especially one of them who is a legal person. She's like, so Stashika, so you're on social media, you're talking about these things in
See,
public.
you are lucky. You are her big sister. So, as much as she wanted to eat you alive, you were her big sister. Those who have the best position I have, where you have elderly siblings, that's one issue. Those who have husbands, that's an issue. In fact, they will go through, including your mother in law and your mother in law's enemies if they can. But you see, at some point, you need to sit down and identify the purpose for the whole thing. And Sika and I were very clear from day one. When we started this journey, it wasn't one of those channels that was started and then we discovered that you could use it for particular purposes. And then we sort of knock our heads as we go. It hasn't been like that. Before we even came up with the name, we actually had the outcomes underlined.
Absolutely. Ama's Wi-Fi only wants her to talk for a minute at a time. Hama is not allowed to talk for more than 1 minute at a time. Yeah, 1 minute is up. But guys, we're laughing about these issues. When you're actually facing them in real time, it's not that easy. You're having to work a job, and the position that I'm in with work right now, it's very time consuming. Customer service is painful. And then you've chosen that you want to start something and to grow it on a daily basis. It's hard. It's hard, right? It's not it's not that easy. It's not that easy to have all these things going. I don't even have children or a family to that point. And I look at people like Amma, and I wonder how you do it. I don't have children. I work 12-hour days, 5 days a week, and a Saturday on top of that. And I feel like I don't have time to eat. I don't have time to do anything. I'm always running for everything. And then I look at content creators with children and husband, and I'm like, how do you guys do it? Because my life is already so full. How do you do it? It's hard. It's hard work. It is. It's hard work. But
It is
if
hard
you know
work,
what
but
you
it's
want,
hard work
yeah,
which pays.
it does.
It pays. It pays. And that's one of the things I wanted to say before. Look, I apologize. When you are on these things and people see you, those who know your telephone number think that's the only time in the day they have to call you. And I am on my phone. And yeah, on the phone, when a call comes, it interrupts. So I apologize. I can't seem to do anything about that one. When the calls come, I decline them and come back. But even the decline interrupts the network a little bit. But you see, Sika, I think I want us to actually talk about the fact that you come to a place with your outcomes clearly outlined. It makes it easier to walk the journey.
True.
So you and I had already outlined what we wanted to do with the page. You were very clear of what you wanted. You understood that you needed to keep going so that you can achieve those outcomes. And because those outcomes were already in place, it helps to keep your focus. It really does help to keep your focus. I knew my outcomes. And so when the pressure started coming from different places, it didn't bother me one bit because I knew what I wanted to do and I wanted to achieve it.
Yeah. This is always going to be like this. Our sister is famous and everybody wants a piece of her. Anyway, guys, all I want to say here this morning is that I can't believe it's been 2 years already. It's been long in one sense and it's been short in another. I never started this thing. Yes, I was ambitious and all of that, but believe you me, today I look at the page and I'm humbled that when I put anything out there, there are actually people who are interested to know what I have to say. There are actually people who um, care enough about what I have to say that they find it valuable. Sometimes I read some of the comments that you guys put on the videos, and I just sit down and I'm like, okay, so 5 years ago, or even 2 years ago, did you really think that it was going to be this impactful or meaningful? When you started out, yes, you wanted this, you wanted that. Did you actually believe that these are some of the impacts that you're going to get from people? And the answer to that is no. Within
Mhm.
all this ambition, I didn't think that I had that big of a voice, that there's some people who are even interested to listen to a crazy looking human being like me, but they do.
But
So
you
it's
haven't even
humbling.
seen the full picture yet. I can't wait for you to get to the next phase. So 2 years is about enough for you to start transcending your local boundaries. So at first, it is people in particular geographic locations who would be watching you. That's about the first 2 years. After the first 2 years of sustained growth, it gets to a point where you are able to, thank you, it gets to a point where you are able to buy a video, as happened with that video of a rant. Everybody has a video. Nobody can predict what kind of video it is. What we can predict for you is the timing of it. So usually between 2 and 3 years, You will make a video. That video will connect with almost everybody on your platform. It will really reach to those people. Those people will share it out, and it goes to platforms that you are yourself not privy to. And people from those platforms will connect with you, and they will all come. It comes to about 2.5, between 2.5 and 3 years, usually, in organic growth. One video, and you will find all sorts of Nigerians, Ethiopians, Timbuktuans, and everybody else on your page. That happens. And then around the 4 year mark, you will find you are actually recognizable when you go into town. You can't hide. People know you. You sit in corners. I found that happening to me these days. It's hilarious. I've been to somebody's office today, and the person was like, "Ah, you are here." And I'm like, "What?" He says, "Yeah, since the national card issue, we have all been waiting for you. We have been looking out for you ever since." And I'm like, "What?"
Hmm. Yeah. I can relate to some of
Okay,
what
I think I'm
Amma is
back.
talking about.
Am I
Yeah.
back? Can you hear me?
Yes, you are. I can hear you. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Brilliant.
I can hear you, but it's funny, dodgy. Hello. How are you? I'm good. You? Good. Looks like I know you. You know me? Where from? Um, I've been...
Yeah, it's some of what we've been talking about.
Yes. Now, isn't this an interesting thing? Yes. Hello. Yeah. How you doing? I just saw your face. I said, is this woman with us here? Or what is he doing here?
Yeah, there have been, even in on the grassroots level, I can relate to what am I saying, because I grew up on a university campuses, right? And you have a lot of aunties and uncles, so to speak. I have a lot of parents of my friends that we all grew up in the same neighborhoods with. Um, they have moms and dads who saw me when I was just out of diapers, and now they see me here, and they also go to my parents, especially my mom. We never knew that this daughter of yours was this crazy. We never knew that this daughter of yours has a big mouth like this. We never thought that your daughter XYZ. So now my mom is sitting somewhere in Ghana, and she's the one that comes to me and like, "Oh, you never guess what? So and so saw me in town the other day, and she says that she saw you on social media and you were talking about X." It's starting to happen. Sometimes I listen to some of the people that are mentioned that watch these videos, and I'm like, wow, I didn't realize that I'm sitting in my small corner somewhere trying to do a little bit of education, and that is as far as it is getting to. So I can relate to some of the things that my sister Amma is talking about. And like I say, it's been a journey. If you don't sow any seeds, don't expect to reap any harvest, and it's painful. It's painful. It's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that to dissuade anybody from doing what you want to do, but just understand that if this is the journey that you're looking to embark on, it is not without a bumpy ride. Yes, there are days when you will cry. There are days when you wonder why you're even bothering to do this in the first place. And that is where you dig deep and reach back to that place where you said you defined your why and defined why you wanted to do whatever it is that you're doing. We're not all the same. Everybody has their niche and what it is they want to achieve. If you want to go down this route on social media, you need to define your why. Why are you doing this in the first place? And the why has to be strong enough that it convicts you every single time. That even when you're not able to be here for whatever reason, you're sick, you're whatever, you can't sleep because you're not doing what you want to do. And that's the point that I've gotten to. If for whatever reason a whole day passes and I'm not able to be on social media, to put a video out, to produce content, I don't feel comfortable. I can't sleep. It feels like I failed for the day. When the why is big enough, it sustains you through the thick and thin, the good, bad, and the ugly. The other thing I also wanted to talk about here is that just like in life, not everybody is going to love you. Not everybody is going to want you. Not everybody is going to pay attention to anything that you have to say. And you have to accept that too. And I always say to myself that even Jesus Christ was not loved by everybody. So if people don't love me, it's fine. You have to accept that. You have to accept that and have big enough balls. I'm sorry, but I have to say it like that. You have to have big enough balls to be the voice to the page. You are the one who's created the page, but do you have that big enough personality and the balls to take all the things that will come at you? Because believe you me, the things will come at you. They will. The negative naysayers. These days, I have a very, very nice, comfortable relationship with delete and block. Very, very, very comfortable relationship with that button. I love it so much. I do. Because this time I love my peace so much that I don't want anybody to come and disrupt my peace. So if you're saying something and it's not that I don't want people to disagree with me, but the tone of the message says it all. Why are you talking about this? And you should do your research. This really irks me. Delete and block. I ain't got time. I ain't got time. Simple as that. Delete, block, finish. We're done.
Points, you will also get tired of delete and block, and then you will learn to tune them out because they will be that many, and you can't emotionally engage. And over time, you will learn to insulate emotionally and just let them be. This internet is.
Ah, yeah. Now
I've
your
been here.
time.
Well, I've done shows, but none has frustrated me as much as this one is. I don't know what's wrong with the internet,
There must
but
be
you
a
guys
part
will
two
just have
when
to
you come back.
forget a redo of all of this. At least I am able to catch in a little bit. I hope the audience are able to get the basic of the anniversary and the import of what we wanted to share with them. This is a real content creator's trajectory. This is how the natural curve goes. If you are able to be patient and hold out, you get to exponential growth, and you do. And Sika, you are currently in a period of exponential growth, actually. Mid to approaching 20,000 is also a very fast one. It happens very fast. Yeah, from 10,000 is very slow until about 13,500, 14,000. And from about that point, you also begin to grow quickly.
Mm. Amma is gone. Are you here? Can we hear you? Oh. Amma is gone, but guys. Yeah, we'll wait till her next wave when she's here. Well, at that point that I was talking about delete and block, I have a very healthy relationship with that button because I just want peace. I don't want distractions. I want the people who are here to learn and to hear what I'm saying and to learn the valuable lessons from that to be able to focus and do that. I don't want insults. I don't want negativity. I don't want any of that on the page. So if you come at me with that, delete and block, and you're gone for good. I don't have to listen to you. Like whoever is out there creating content, please have big enough balls to understand what I'm saying to you. It is your page, okay? You created the page yourself. Don't allow anybody on social media to intimidate who you are and what you stand for. That's a piece of advice to whoever has ears to hear me. Do not allow anybody to dim your shine, right? or try to use their words and whatever else it is to intimidate you on social media. You must have big enough balls to withstand all of that. Another lesson that I've learned on social media: people will come at you and they don't even know who you are. They have absolutely no idea about you. And they'll start spewing things and saying things that they don't even know. They've never met you in person, but they're just people like that. And you have to understand that that is part of life also. I see a lot of people who shrivel and crumble into nothingness because somebody who thinks he or she has a loud mouth or voice wants to try and stop you and gag you from being able to say what it is that you want to say. And I see this a lot when you pick a particular topic and maybe it has to do with one particular sex, right? And you're trying to advise or encourage or say that, look, we can be better than this. Then you see that the people who are in that attitude or behavior, they get allergic to what you're saying. And there's a lot of backlash. Auntie Ya in the house. Auntie Ya, mwah. I love Auntie Ya so much because there's a lot of people a lot younger than Auntie Ya who are on social media. There's not a lot of people like Auntie Ya on here. One thing I love about Auntie Ya is people don't realize that Auntie Ya knows who she is. Okay? Auntie Ya is my mom. Auntie Ya is Ama Manson's mom. We are not going to sit here, or she is not going to sit here and allow any people to just intimidate her like that. If you go after somebody like that, you don't have this. It's not working. If people like me won't take it, Auntie Ya won't take it either. But this is what I'm saying. You just need to understand what it is that you want and go for that. And tune out the bullies and the negative sayers and all those people. Tune them all out. Delete and block. That's my favorite button now, Sister Amma. Delete and block. I love it.
Delete and block is good, but you see, going forward, ignore and leave people to stew is also a good button. Delete and block has its season, and that's where you are at. These things, I am trying to get these things across to people watching so you can understand that it's a system, it's a cycle, and there are patterns. There are very, very obvious patterns. If somebody has prepared you with the patterns, and Sika, you've been a beneficiary of that, I tend to tell Aku what is to come before it comes,
Yes.
so that when it happens, it is not a surprise.
Yeah,
So that when it happens, but even then, even with all the forewarning, sometimes it can be really frustrating
it is.
when you are waiting for something to go up and for a month, only 50 people have joined or 100 people have joined. And you're like, I should be at 1,000 at this point. But you see, when somebody has told you that mid-teens, getting to the mid-teens is difficult. When it's difficult to get there, it's not surprising. But from the mid to the 20 is going to be quick. When you hit that point and it's going quickly, okay. So in the mid, getting to the mid, if you are getting frustrated, there is at least something to look forward to. It is really important on these journeys to have mentors, people
Yes,
who have walked the pathway before you,
absolutely.
those who can predict these patterns, those who can tell you how to stay safe. Because yeah, there are days, Sika, if you will be honest, you wake up some days, we've gone organic and we talk about organic and we make it into a moment of pride, but we all second guess ourselves. Are we sure? Shouldn't we discuss somebody's personal affairs? Hmm. If we jumped on and discussed a priest or insulted a politician, wouldn't that help the page grow? Haven't you had those moments?
Oh
Just
yes,
an
I have.
honest question,
I have. Mine is not even
regardless
insult,
of
but
the
let's go
advice.
about some into somebody's personals. How can he do this? Because you read all these tabloids on online, don't you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And once, yeah, we all do have lessons to draw from some of these events. Knowing what to say, and when to leave it is a big, big, big thing, isn't it?
it is. It is. It is. And even when you decide to record those videos, you have to actually sit down and think about what it is you want to say. Take pen and paper. That's what I do, and write, okay,
Yeah.
so this is what got me about this. This is the lesson that I want X to learn about it. You don't just switch on a camera. And we've seen a lot of that. Very big people, prominent people who've been in social places and interview people and whatever public speakers all go and make this big mistake because they don't script what it is they want to say first. They just go on emotion, and this happened, and this happened, and now
Yeah.
people are digging holes. So this is what happened. you know,
It's so so easy to work that because those videos will bring you viewership, won't it?
yeah, it does. It does. It does. You know it will. Yeah, you know it will. You do. But it is all about sticking to your whys and what you're doing and going back to the goal setting and all the things that you had decided you wanted to do in the first place. That's it. Because it's easy to forget why you started this and what the objective is and why you're doing when you're in that bubble and things are happening and people are joining the page at an astronomical level and things are happening. It's very, it gets very tempting for you to go down that path. But you really truly need to restrain yourself and go back to the whys, why you're doing what you're doing, to keep it going. As I said today, Amma is only allowed to speak for 10 seconds at a time, and then her Wi Fi goes AWOL. So it's fine. When she comes, she comes. That is the other advice I want to put out there, to keep it clean. It's not the easiest of things to do. Yeah, but when you know what you want, it happens. 2 years has been a journey, but I couldn't have also done it, not just with Amma, but with all the people that Amma brought into my life as well. I can't sit here and talk about all these things without naming all the people that have stood with me, all the sisters that have been in the house, all the way from day one till now. Amma Manson, you all know she's the grandma of this page. But with Sister Amma came all the other people as well. Auntie Ya, I met through Amma Manson. I met I knew Sister Mandy from England, but I didn't know how to get through to her. But I saw her again on Amma Manson show, Obadana, and then that's how the relationships have been formed. So those of you who know Evelyn Amandado, I met her properly in doing her thing on Amma Manson show. Abna Mrikua, Mrikua, I met
Yeah.
her on Amma Manson show. Ajua Odo Mensa, I knew from social media. I've seen videos of her from England. Again, no connection. I come to Amma Manson, Ubadana, and she's here. So Adwa Odo, I met through Amma Manson. Like there's just been a whole array of women, people that I never thought in my wildest dreams I would ever meet, know, have on the page, speak to. And yet all these people have been here and produced top notch content, advice, and everything on this page. Ama, we can't go without saying thank you to some people. We must. We must. And, not everybody has been somebody that has been on the page to give advice, the support and the backing. To have somebody just fall in love with you just for the heck of it, and from day one, she's sharing, she's liking, she's commenting on your videos. She's trying to do her little best to support you in whatever way, shape, or form. If my sister Aisha Ankara is on this page right now, if she's listening, guys, please tell her Sika Educates says thank you. This is one woman that I would one day I want to interview her. I really, really do. And I hope that she would grant me the audience to do that. This is one person that is the epitome of what love is. Where somebody would love you without even knowing you, where somebody just gives without even thinking about it, from supporting to stars to sharing, commenting, sharing your videos, and engaging in what you're saying. Oh my God. Sister Aisha is just something else, isn't she? Ah,
Listen,
Sister Aisha is amazing.
oh, listen. Aisha, I mean, the way Aisha has supported me and all these ladies on this platform, if all of our sisters knew how to support Aisha,
Yeah, the world will be a better place. It really will be. Sometimes I think about the way she loves all of us, and it brings tears to my eyes. I'm like, why can't there just be people like her? Why can't there be more of us like that? Even I want to be more like her, right? I want to be more like her. I learn a thing or two. This is why I really, really, truly, awesomely want to interview her. What drives her to be the way she is? I want to know what medicine she takes on a daily basis to make her so awesome. I want some of that pill because she is super awesome. Sister Aisha Ankara, God bless you. We love you. We do.
we do
Every
a
single
lot.
one of you. Yes,
Now I know you can only see the roof of the car, but I'm
that's
moving
fine.
to a different place and hoping that that different place will give me better reception. Somebody just alerted me to the location I am at is also notorious for bad reception.
Okay.
So I moved and already it's improved a little bit, hasn't it?
Yes, yes,
At
we
least
can
you
at
can
least
hear me.
hear you. Even if we
We
can't
were
see your
talking
face, we
about
can
the
hear you.
girls when I went off.
Yes. Are you still there? Ah, Sister Amma is in motion. When she gets to that spot, we continue with that conversation. Guys, just being super awesome is amazing. The other thing I wanted to touch on, and I know that when Amma is back in base, we will talk about that in a bigger way and, have a whole video or whatever about it, is the sisterhood. It's been a big one for me. I've been wanting sisterhood, being in groups and places and hoping and praying that I can find a set of women that I can be around that are positive minded and can push us forward as a people. Every single time I joined a woman's group, I came out beaten, bent, disappointed, and people not understanding who you are and trying to put you out there in a particular light. It hurt so much. The last time I got bent, I just decided, you know what, I don't even want to do this anymore. And I cut out of everything. Thankfully, I moved countries, so that made it even easier to do. And now here we are. So
Yeah,
I came onto into this
yeah.
space not even thinking that I can ever have sisters. Sister Amma I knew, but
No,
then there was a connection between Scholastica and now we're here. But outside of her, I didn't think that it was possible for a lot of Ghanaian women to come together in one place and be able to tolerate each other enough for anything positive to grow. And it's happened. Can't believe it.
listen, it is one of the things that I want to talk about the most because I think it's one of the models that allows people to see what's possible when you allow yourself to imagine and to dream. Yes, we were supposed to fight. Yes, we were supposed to be jealous of each other. We were supposed to get in each other's way. We were supposed to backbite. We were supposed to scratch each other's eyeballs out. But I had a firm belief that even alongside, and I always used to say to the girls, we are not here to lick each other. We are here to grow together. We are not here to lick each other. I was not even expecting the journey to be this enjoyable, but I knew it was necessary. I knew we needed each other. I knew we had to galvanize a group to help us. And it's one of the things that I am so proud of. Everybody's page is growing. Everybody's page is growing. Everybody's audience is growing. We have supported each other to push forward in ways none of us could do alone. None of us could do it alone. We couldn't do it alone. And that realization is important, because if you are also walking this journey and you are expecting to do it alone, I promise you a very lonely journey, a very frustrating journey,
Mm.
a very slow growth.
Mm.
And if you are not careful, you will give up and you will stop and say it doesn't work, it can't happen, yada, yada, yada. But that's because you haven't got an army around you. You do need an army. You do need an army. Not so, Aku.
Oh yes.
Let's
That's what I'm
unpick
saying.
it.
I never came in this space. I thought it was just I'm going to have a mentor in you, and then you're going to help me, and then I'm going to go off do my thing. And then I didn't even with Sister Omeko, I didn't even have to approach. Like she came looking for me,
Yeah,
and I'm like, but how is that even possible? Like, so somebody just loves you just because they just love you? Like,
yeah,
okay, okay, well, fine. Because I'd been bitten initially, I was a bit hesitant. Does she
yeah,
want something?
yeah,
Does she want something from me? Is this why
yeah,
she's sucking up to me and be nice? And
yeah.
then I turned 40, and on the road to being 40, I live in a place that nobody really knows me and everything. My parents, I didn't know. I knew they had something up their sleeves, but I didn't know what it was. I turned 40, I go to work, it's the thick of snow, there's 2 foot of snow outside my door. I come back, I'm so tired and frustrated and whinging about how it's minus 40 and it's so cold and my bones hurt, blah blah blah. And then I turn up to my door, and there's this huge bouquet of flowers, and I'm like, where did this come from? Do I have a new boyfriend? Wow, somebody loves me. And then I opened it, and there it was from Aomekua. I cried like a baby. Oh my
Look,
God.
the effort it took to find your address and for her to find suppliers where you live and to organize the delivery. Now that's love. And that's something I actually want to share with more of our sisters. Don't let people tell you that Black women can't get along. That's stupidity. That is your process brainwash, and a lot of us have bought into it. Women will always fight. Women will always know. People sometimes disagree. But when you understand that you need a network, you also invest in a network. This is not a relationship that comes whilst you sit there with your fingers crossed.
No.
You have to actually extend the courtesies to people in order for them to extend it to you too. And if you are willing to extend courtesies to people and they are willing to extend back at you, you will find a good community, which we have. It is one of my greatest assets, actually. The ring fence of you girls, the support network you girls offer, the encouragement we have managed to bring into each other's systems, simply turning up to each other's platforms and contributing our knowledge, our skills, and even our foolishness to the platform sometimes.
Sometimes Mandy will be doing a show, and then I see I'm a man, so this year I'm like, okay, time for foolishness has started. Amma will say something, and I'll start from where I'm about to started. And then when Blessed Beyond Belief joins, it's like, oh my God, recipe for disaster.
But you see, in there somewhere, in this stupidity, is also quite a lot of camaraderie.
Yeah.
It is a very unique atmosphere. And when one begins to go, everybody also feels motivated to go. Not because you're jealous, but a sister is moving and showing that you can. I mean, how far so many of us have managed to get ourselves on these platforms is insane. It is insane. And it's something I would really love to see new content creators try to do. Um, Even if you are not content creating in this community, there's quite a lot of influence that you can tap into. It
Yeah.
is not always that we harbor on the negative. There are a lot of positives to also harvest and to utilize, and I hope more people are able to do so. I mean, it's a journey of patience, isn't it, Aku?
It has been.
It is a
Mm-hmm.
journey of perseverance.
Oh
It is
yeah.
a journey of sheer determination and refusal to give up, because that's what it is. That's what it takes. Yeah, getting to this point, but also there is a lot of discipline that goes with this.
Yeah.
A lot of discipline. I was raising it earlier when the internet was bad, and the person who asked me to come here is a saint. Just across where I was, the yeah, network is better here, but it's still a funny network, so forgive me. You see, when you start a journey like this, you need to be aware of how the journey is going to go. Aku has now managed to build a platform, but the platform is now about to catapult. I was telling you that after year 3, year 4 is when people will come up to you and people will recognize you and people will begin to cite your own. I was in the middle of it. A gentleman came to my door. I don't know if you.
I did. And so I started laughing and I said, this is just a classic example of what you were just talking about. And then you went off.
You know, he stood there and he was watching me. I wasn't sure what was going on. But because I was on here, I didn't pay attention to what he was. He says he waited for a bit and he realized I was not going to come out of the car. So he actually came from upstairs, came all the way down and walked to me at the car. Just so, and this is also probably where the whole game begins to change. Up until this point, it is you on your internet making noise. It is you talking. It is you giving, giving, giving. But it gives you some things back, but not a lot. Not a lot. When you get to this stage, this is actually the zone of influence. And when you get to the zone of influence, a lot of wonderful things will happen to you as a content creator. I can give you a testimony on that personally. I have been to many places. Even today, I went to somebody's office. I was sat there in the queue. This person comes and this person says, "Oh my God, we've been waiting for you here. We knew you would come here." And I'm like, "Huh? What do you mean?" He says, "Yeah, we saw you at the National Card place and we knew this was the next natural place. So me, I have been vigilant. I've been telling my colleagues it will happen. Oh my God, oh my God." So I was in a queue waiting for a person who was not in his office. A person had walked off probably to go and do whatever. Who knows? But somehow this guy disappears around the building and suddenly everybody turns up at their desk and suddenly the queues were moving. And I was like, oh, damn, finally, finally. It is a good experience for me, but not just for me. It was a good experience for everybody else who was in the queue because what would have been a waste of time for a long time suddenly became a smooth operation because somebody says, hey, hey, be careful. Hey, get to your desk. Hey. And if you are able to improve systems a little bit by your sheer presence, if you are able to make people's experiences a little better by your sheer presence, by your sheer participation in things, that is when all of this actually begins to feel like it is worth it. It begins to feel like it's worth it. So let me give you a prediction, Akusika Antonio. In year 3, we will stay here and have our 3rd birthday party. And at that time, you will also start telling me about the opportunities people are banging on your door with. You will tell me about people recognizing you and people wanting to liaise. By that time, I should come to Akusika, who commands so much financial independence that you actually send me a $10,000 amount in my bank account to eat for no reason.
Yay! Of course. Amen. I receive it. I receive
Yes.
it. Oh.
Akusika, who
I'm
is
coming to
so
Dubai to
financial.
deliver it to you.
Listen, bring it and we will get up to a lot of nonsense. Yes. Yes. And it shall be so too. Yes.
Amen.
Auntie Ya, how you doing? It's good to see you here. Yes. Auntie Ya has a testimony, huh?
Mm-hmm. And
I
Anabia
cannot wait.
says, this comment I want you to read. I love it. Yeah.
Okay. Nanabia says, you both are glowing, discussing the support you've received from others on your journeys and growth. Absolutely. And you see, as you also grow, you begin to learn to extend the hand. That is one of the things one of my mentors actually was very particular about. So I had started doing this. I was beginning to grow, and I had a mentorship session, and she says, when you go alone, you are everybody's target. They will shoot you down. They will shoot you down so quickly. It's not worth doing it. When you go up, have the common sense to go up with a community. So those of you who watched me at that time, I began to talk about sisterhood. I talked about raising a community. That was just before COVID hit. So prior to that, it was me growing my page, wanting to distinguish myself, yada, yada, yada. But it was a very wise person in my life who drew my attention to the fact that you can't actually go without a community. And when she raised it, I was like, black women, oh my God, how can I? The people who are natural to go with are people who are from my community. The people in my community, we don't get along. Women in my community, we always fight. And she says, who says it must be so? And I'm like, well, you don't understand because you're not black. She says, oh, there we go. We're going to play the racist, stupid card again. No, I am not black, but I do have a brain and I do have common sense. And I'm telling you that anybody who said that black women can't get along is an idiot. And those of you who believe it are even more stupid than the people who say so. And I'm like, okay.
She's
Yeah, I know.
insulted you.
Oh, that one insults me every time. Every single time. She is the Makosho's mouse one. She insults me every time because she knows that when she insults me, it hits me on some raw nerves. And when she hits a raw nerve, that's when I actually effect change. So yeah, I decided, I sat down and I thought, at that time, there were a group of girls, some were already on the internet before I even before I came. And when I came and I sat and I thought about it, I thought, okay, look, let's not even be discriminate. Send the invitation to everybody. And if you go back to that episode, you saw that the platform was made available to everybody and anybody who wanted to come join our discussions, who wanted us to help them open a page. We will go to each other's page and we will share each other's videos and help each other's videos to propagate into our own networks and whatnot. What I actually never said to all of you at the time is what I'm confessing to you right now. It was a very purposeful decision to take a community and to see if we could debunk the myth that we couldn't work together. But also for me personally, it was to make sure that as I was growing, I was not creating enemies. I was actually creating sisters. And if a sister saw that their page is growing, but yours has grown a little bit bigger, what they actually saw was somebody who could walk them through how. Somebody you could go to and ask. And that's what I became. Instead of the target of somebody's jealousy, instead of people thinking that, she thinks she's the only one. No, we hear that a lot. And I'm sure there is still elements of that in the general frame. But you see, amongst that also was an option for other people to come and ask questions and to come and seek support and to grow together. Every time I come to any of your platforms, oh, you should see how proud I am. You should see how happy I am. When each one of you hits a milestone, I'm like, wow, damn, that is another one who is now focused on her own milestones and has no time to hold you accountable to things you're not accountable for. Somebody who is growing themselves and has got no time to pay attention to details that don't even matter.
That's
in
right.
what you're doing. Somebody who is doing so well themselves, who has no further time to waste on things that are not profitable. And that's your next challenge, Akusika. Your next challenge. So I set you a challenge last year to take two of my sisters in particular on a journey. And congratulations. By Jove, you have done it. Oh, you have done it. You have done it. And I'm so proud. The sisters involved don't even know that Akusika and I had this conversation. It was Aku's job to make sure that two particular sisters got to a particular target. And it's in the last few months that both of them magically, somehow, under the magical influence of Akusika, managed to get to these. These sisters will never know. Well, if it was left to me, I will never admit to this before the sisters. And I know Sika won't either. The sisters will never know what it is that the two of us wanted to make sure happened.
Yeah.
But it was something that was important. And I think that's something I want to set also as a further challenge. You see, I want to see more of those sisters in the system. We need more sisters and less enemies. We need more people who are themselves financially comfortable. Yes. So one, they don't need your money.
Yeah.
and they don't need to be jealous of the little peanuts you are also making. If you make your peanuts and I make my peanuts, everybody's fed, everybody's satisfied, we can live in peace. When one person eats at the expense of everybody else, that's where the petty jealousies and the competition and the rest come. So your next target is actually overt mentorship.
Okay.
Overt, yeah, overt mentorship. I want to see it actually evident in everything you do. Overt mentorship. You now have very high shoulders. There should be more people riding your shoulders. There should be people who get introduced to people because of you. There should be people we get to discover on your platform. You are where I used to be at the time we are discussing. Just before COVID hit, I was exactly where you are right now. Yeah. And these were my targets. I think I haven't done too badly. I could do much better, obviously. We will try more. But I would love to see in the next year or two people who will say that I springboarded off Sika's page. I was introduced to an audience by Sika. I was mentored by Sika. This whole thing was explained to me by Sika, or I watched Sika's page and I knew what to do. You model it so other people can also mimic. And not just that, you actually also directly invest in raw new talent. I'm still at it. I'm still looking for new people. I'm still trying to discover people. I'm still trying to springboard people. And yeah, as a community, we do need more people to facilitate such avenues. And yeah, I think you were a natural one, don't you think?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Challenge accepted.
Yes, I have.
Good stuff. Good
Yeah.
stuff. So that's my vision. What is your vision for the next stage coming up? What do you envisage?
So, I mean, now I have a platform. It's
Mhm.
I guess, and once you get monetized, you can say that you have an established platform. So
Absolutely.
I believe when I first met you, and I'm sure you wrote this down and it's in your big diary, I said to you that I always envisaged myself having a talk show.
Yeah.
That's, I don't know why. I look, when I was young, I would watch anything Oprah Winfrey, everything,
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
episode of Oprah Winfrey. And I loved Reader's Digest as well. My mom still reads that like the Bible. But yeah, I love those two things. And I just see myself wanting a show of my own and having all manner of people on there. And guess who my first person to interview will be? Uh-huh. And then we both decided that this would be the test case to that. So being
Yeah.
able to do this makes me realize, oh, actually, I've got what it
Yeah.
takes to make it
Oh,
happen.
but of course. And
Yeah.
but you see, you've got what it takes. It's a similar one to my ambition. Those of you who were here last week, I launched a page that I called it the Yamamanse Network. I had talked about the network for a while, but I hadn't opened the page because I was actually thinking about the model. This network page is also a little bit more aggressive in the talent nurture and talent showcasing agenda of mine. That one I want to run as a TV station where individuals and groups will have specific shows on at particular times and it will be scheduled times. And yes, I want to mix it on the network so that we have all the various languages. I would like to run programs which originate from all sorts of places, not necessarily African or in the Black community only. I would like to showcase as many people as possible. I'd like to demonstrate the unities in the culture. So maybe that we'll see how that goes. I'll tell you how that goes. If that could be a good test for what you want to do, have a look and see. And then we can explore other models of doing this. Yeah, I would love to come to the Sika show, to come misbehave on the Sika show. My goodness. And
Yeah.
to bring people to Sika to coach, mentor, and develop, and to watch those people also come through the ranks. I always say that social media is the game changer for all businesses. It has transformed
I'm S1G. It became 2G for a time. but it's dipped to 1G again. It will come back. Yeah, there
Social
you go.
media will change the game for all of us because you and I would never have had enough money to buy the equipment to run a
No,
radio station, would we?
no,
You and I would definitely not have the money to buy the television sets and the equipment to run a TV network. But you see, by the power of social media, just on my phone, I have just managed to start a little test precursor to a network. And I'm hoping to run an actual network. You don't need capital, you just need a little bit of skill and expertise. Yeah, you need a willingness to learn and a patience to match it. And if you are able to do it, you can actually build something that is economically viable. It can bring you a lot of liberties. I know we haven't got to the big amounts, but we actually, with these little platforms of ours, now manage to get monies that come in that change the way things are. Don't we, Apple?
true. Yes.
They are small amounts, but you see, those are small amounts that actually make the difference between your ability to buy petrol the last week of the month or not. You know, your ability to buy your train pass or whatever, your ability to afford the little things that you would otherwise not afford. And I want more of us to be able to leverage that.
Hmm.
You don't need specific education, you don't need any particular degrees, you don't need any specific equipment, you don't need any position, you don't need influence, you don't have to be a somebody before you make a somebody out of yourself. By the power of social media, an ordinary little girl like me can sit here and talk for a while. And now, when you go places, people are like, "Is that her?
Yeah, it's humbling. It really is.
Is
Yeah.
that you? Is that Sika? Is that Sika? Is that Sika?" And yeah, it makes significant people out of those of us in the obscurity, and that's what I want to be able to share with everybody and encourage as many of you as can possibly do this to give it a try. Abosiki Judas, when you have bad internet, that is what happens. You can be the main guest. I know. If you know the effort it is taking for me to actually just stay here and be able to contribute, yes. And when I finish, I will share it to my platform too when I am able to. But I think the priority was being able to be here and to speak and not trying to do too many things. So yes, I do want to share to my platform. You know, I have no problem sharing Sika's content to my platform. If you knew me for 2 seconds, you should know much better. And if I was on, if I was on a show and I haven't shared it to my platform, the first assumption would be that it's technological challenges.
Absolutely.
I'm hoping that you are the only stranger in Jerusalem and didn't know that that would be the only reason why I've not shared it. 2 minutes here, and you'd have seen how difficult it is for me to actually stay here and continue to chat. So yeah, I made that not to even go there and mess about and make it more difficult for you guys to hear. Yeah, I will put it on my platform. People on my platform do need to hear this. And yeah, that was an interesting one, isn't it?
It
Yeah.
is. So, Sister Man, as you wrap up in the last 10 minutes here, what do you have for me? What do you have to say to me? Apart
What
from
I,
happy birthday, you didn't sing the jingle for me. I'm still not happy. You didn't sing
you
happy
did
birthday
how?
to me.
Oh, I sang it. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so that means I sang it when I had lost network. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's sing it for you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Oh. Happy birthday to you.
You sounded like a mosquito. Mosquito.
But of course, I wanted to sound like that. I am so proud that I actually managed to sound like that. Thank you all so much for joining us. And Sika, you see, I wanted to be a soothsayer for you. I want in the next 12 months for you to surpass your own expectations and to shock yourself with
Amen.
the growth and development on the channel.
Amen.
I want the next 12 months to bring you opportunities that you've not even dreamt of yet.
Mm.
I want partnerships to find you, and I
Mm.
want you to actually enjoy the position of influence you have created through sweat and blood, and
Mm.
to leverage it appropriately to change your life and to change that of many others around you. I hear that all the time. Oh, Sika, I want to see you having babies. I want to see you
Sister Amma, come back. I want to hear that part. Come back, come back, come back, come back. Oh. Uh-huh.
okay,
Yes, she's back.
I'm back. Yes, yes. This show was always going to be that kind of show where my 1G caused a lot of problems, but I am so determined that we will carry on regardless. Yeah, I want this to be one of the stories that we tell people to encourage them. Sika and I have not dared tell you some of the backdrop stories to this particular project yet because we are not out of the woods yet. We are still working through quite a lot of things. But one of these days, when Sika is actually out of the woods, we will tell you the real journey, the real story, the details behind the scenes. Yes, the discipline, the tears, and the other things that have happened behind the scenes. Yeah, sometimes when she comes on and she's smiling, most of you see the smile. Those of us on the flip side see the other things because those other things also exist. And yeah, it's important we don't gloss over. I know, but the story is not ready to tell yet. So people say that all the time to me. I'm a USC, need to tell the real truth. And I'm like, what truth? What we tell you is the truth. But obviously, there are personal stories always that run parallel to these things. And some of the personal stories are good to share in some seasons. Some of the personal stories are not yet ready to share. When this particular one is ready to share, I will be delighted to share with you because I think it will galvanize and motivate so many of you out of the situations that you complain about and make noise about. A lot of you feel victims. It's something most of us find ourselves in. You feel a victim and you think there has to be somebody who has to come and save you. But this journey actually shows that you can actually be rock bottom and still somehow find the strength to climb and to keep crying whilst you climb. But climb you do. You just climb and you keep going and you get to a place.
Your shoulders were broad
Yeah,
enough for the crying.
I'm crying. But you cry and you keep crawling and crawl and you climb. And one day you look behind you and you're like, oh, heck, have I come this far? And I'm so proud. I am so, so proud of the tenacity of spirit you have. I am so proud of how coachable you've made yourself, of how versatile you are, and how you bring value to those who watch. People come to your page all the time and they come to tell me, Ama, we found somebody who is so knowledgeable. The person is similar to you. And then they'll send
1G,
me the
1
page. Yeah.
You're back.
People come to the page all the time and they come to tell me, Ama, we found somebody who is so knowledgeable. The person is similar to you. And then they'll send me the page link and I smile to myself. Yes.
Do you know how many people say to me, "Are you and Amma twins?" I'm like, "Yeah, we were cloned. She's the penny, I'm the kakra." Yeah.
Yeah, that these are more pure joy for me because it is when people recognize effort is actually beginning to impact. And I love listening to those stories. So, like I said, for me, the next stage is mentorship, taking others too with you, having your own little granddaughters of mine. I am ready to be a grandmother. I want to see you having babies so I can be upgraded to a grandmama. And the grandbabies also make babies and make me great grandmother. And after a while, we will have a great community of people leveraging this tool for our benefit. And I can't wait
Mm,
for that moment.
mm. Okay. A challenge accepted.
Wonderful. I was hoping that would be your response. Guys, for my terrible internet. I hope when I am back to base, we will do this again in
Yes.
circumstances with better internet so I can tell you more stories,
Yes.
more backdrop stories than I was able to do today. But happy
Mm.
birthday, Sika Educates. Can you all share the page, tag people, get more people to follow because I am waiting to see 20K. That is the next target. I am waiting 20. Yes, we need to get to 20K because we want to get to 50K before the end of the year.
Mhm.
Ambitious, but we are going to push. So help us by sharing the video, inviting people to follow and like. And I shall see y'all very, very soon, misbehaving on the internet as usual.
Oh, this is a whole month long's birthday, so we're waiting for you to get back to base, and then we'll continue. Oh, guys, none of it would have been possible with you. Please help me say thank you to Sister Amma Manson. She's naughty, she's witty, she's the cook, I'm the Fanta. But help me say thank you to her for believing that it is even possible. She said we'll share the story later, and we will. But at the time when I met her, I really needed something to focus on because I was losing my mind. I'm just going to say that and I'm going to leave that there. And we'll talk about the story when the time for telling that story comes. So thank you, Sister Amma. Thank you, Sister Evelyn Amanda Ado. Guys, if you don't know who she is, go find her page and follow and listen to the fantastic stuff that she does. Sister Omrikua, God bless you for what you do. Lunchtime talks. Go, guys, and go follow that page. It also has some very awesome stuff for you. Ajua Odom Mensa page. Guys, go follow that page if you love me and, support her. These are all people that have been with me through the journey, right? Kwame No Face, Sister Adama, another big one, my darling from primary school days. She's been super awesome. That woman has has been there from day one. Sister Adama has been there from day one. God bless you, my darling. I've had some of my brothers talking about laughter for Sofumeko, Mr. Topa. Oh my gosh, a whole array of people. God bless every single one of them. Gosh, I need to put them down and make sure that I talk about every single one of them. And I've individually said a big thank you to everybody who's been in this space. Auntie Ya has been here. God bless you. Yai Nima has been here in recent times. God bless you. Awoya has been here. God bless you. Like, I've had so many people on the platform, and there's more to come. God bless every single one of you who have been here on this journey for your likes, your comments, your subscription, your stars, like everything you do. I am grateful. God bless every single one of you. Happy birthday to all of us. Continue to follow, engage, everything awesome that you guys do. I love you all so, so much. And I'm deeply humbled that you guys give me the opportunity to share my 2 cents. And you guys have been here for me every single step of the way. This is like a family. And no matter how depressed, upset, down, because they come to the best of us that I feel when I'm on here and I see the love that every single one of you shares. It just gets my juices going. Somehow I just snap out of that mood in a second. And I'm like, if the whole world doesn't love me, I have a family on social media. So to hell with the rest of you, you know? Sister Amma, you've been super awesome for believing in me at that time. And I'm just going to leave it there. As my mentor said, we're not going to talk about that part of the story yet. So let's just leave it there for now. And when is the due season to share that, we will share. I love you. God bless you. You're all super awesome. And it's time to go to work. God bless you. Happy birthday, Sika Educates. And I love you. Mwah. Bye bye.